People who have been sued, what was it for? I was just walking my dog Baxter around the block like I did every morning. He's this old golden retriever who moves slower than my grandma and has never hurt a fly. We lived in one of those neighborhoods where everyone knows everyone, so kids would always run up to pet him. That Tuesday morning, this 8-year-old kid named Ethan spotted us from across the street and came sprinting over. His mom, Angela, was chatting with another neighbor about 20 feet away, not really paying attention. Ethan was super excited, jumping around Baxter like kids do. My dog just sat there wagging his tail, patient as always. But then Ethan tripped over Baxter's leash, just went tumbling forward and scraped his cheek and arm on the concrete sidewalk. Nothing crazy, just regular kid stuff, but man, did he start screaming bloody murder. You'd think someone chopped his arm off. Angela came running over, scooped up Ethan, and immediately started yelling at me. She's pointing at the scrape on his face, saying Baxter bit him. I'm like, what? Lady, your kid tripped on the leash. There's no bite mark anywhere. Baxter didn't even move from his sitting position. She wouldn't listen, just kept saying her baby was attacked and she was calling the police. I tried explaining what actually happened, but she was already on her phone with 911. The whole thing was insane. A week later, I get this certified letter in the mail. Angela was suing me for $10,000, claiming Baxter bit Ethan and caused trauma requiring medical treatment and therapy sessions. I read that thing like 5 times thinking it was some kind of joke. The lawsuit said Ethan needed stitches for the bite wound and was having nightmares about being attacked by a vicious dog. Except there was no bite wound. The ER report I saw later showed scrapes from hitting the pavement. That's it. Angela brought in this child psychologist who testified that even though there wasn't physical evidence of a bite, Ethan was traumatized by the fear of being attacked. She claimed he needed months of counseling and couldn't sleep without the lights on. All from a dog that literally didn't move. I couldn't afford a real lawyer, so I had to represent myself in small claims court. I spent weeks preparing. I printed out photos of Baxter looking like the laziest dog alive. Got a signed letter from our vet saying he'd never shown any aggressive behavior in 10 years. Even found footage from my neighbor's Ring camera that showed Ethan running up and tripping over the leash. Angela's lawyer kept pushing this narrative that Baxter was dangerous and I was negligent for not controlling him better. They wanted money for medical bills, therapy costs, and pain and suffering. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there with my folder of evidence thinking this is the most ridiculous thing ever. During the hearing, the judge asked to see the Ring footage. You could clearly watch Ethan trip over the leash and fall forward. No bite, no attack, just a clumsy kid who lost his balance. The judge looked at Angela's lawyer and asked where exactly the bite occurred because he couldn't see it in the video. That's when things got really weird. Angela stood up and said the trauma wasn't from an actual bite, but from Ethan thinking he was going to be bitten. She claimed that fear alone caused lasting psychological damage worth thousands of dollars. The judge wasn't buying it. He ruled in my favor and even warned Angela about filing frivolous lawsuits that waste court resources. But he did acknowledge that Ethan's fear was probably real, just not legally my fault. After we left the courthouse, I thought it was over, but the damage was already done. Word spread around the neighborhood about the lawsuit. Some people believed Angela's version where Baxter was this dangerous dog. The HOA sent me a letter saying I could only walk him during certain hours to avoid children. Mrs. Peterson from down the street started crossing to the other side whenever she saw us coming. Kids who used to pet Baxter would run away when they spotted him. It was heartbreaking watching my gentle old dog get treated like some monster.